Hi, and welcome to Underground Video Network Behind the Counter. Mike here, and as with me always is Richard.
Hello.
Had a really busy last month. It's nice to be back. We're here at Alter Ego Comic Books, and it's nice to be able to just kind of rest up against the counter. We've had a really busy last month with the cons.
And everything else going on, so we missed last month, but
yeah.
We got a big episode planned. It's our summer sort of preview episode, so stay tuned.
Hi, and welcome back. Here we are again at Alter Ego Comic Books in Lima, Ohio.
Right.
Our home turf. It's good to get some little rest after the past month or so.
And the place changed a little bit since we've been here.
Yes. I have a special little, co-star over here. He's quiet. Normally talks a lot, but
And summertime is coming up.
Summertime is coming up.
It's going to be a busy summer.
Busy summer. Just the big movies coming out themselves. Big, huge comic book movies, sci-fi movies coming out.
Starting with Thor.
Thor's coming out here first soon. And it normally ties in because we've also going to be talking about Free Comic Book Day. It seems like Free Comic Book Day is almost like the gateway to nerd summer.
Yeah. Well, that's the big geek Christmas.
Yeah.
It starts it out, then boom, summer hits, and then movies after movies. So let's talk about Free Comic Book Day.
Free Comic Book Day, yeah.
We got a lot of. Let's go with the titles real quick.
All right.
We got a bunch of stuff coming out. See, first off, Marvel's doing their normal. They're going to have a Spider-Man.
Yep.
And then they got another one that's got the movie tie-in, sort of. That's on the second tier with Captain America and Thor.
Right. And also they're going to be having a Green Lantern book.
That's what DC's doing.
DC's doing a Green Lantern book, which is going to tie more to the Flashpoint series that's coming up and not so much the movie, which...
It's Green Lantern.
Yeah, it's Green Lantern. I think that was a pretty smart thing to do because everybody's doing the movie tie-ins for the books and their companies, but they're going more towards the the comic books. They know that the Green Lantern name is going to be everywhere for the movie.
Right.
Let's bring it in. Let's give the sneak preview to the comic book. And pull them in.
So that's the top two. Dark Horse is having their Star Wars tie-in as normal.
Right.
They've been doing that almost every year, but this year they got the rights to the Avatar: The Last Airbender, the cartoon.
Yeah, the good Avatar, not
Russian,
that M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong train wreck. So you can pick up the book.
Definitely, everybody else is Archie's got their stuff out.
A lot of kid-friendly books. There's going to be,
and that's what this is for. This is for the kids. They need to come in, get Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah, we can't go on enough about Free Comic Book Day. It's just we're not underselling it when we say it's Nerd Christmas because it really is. It's not just that you get something free. It's just the feel. People come out. See people in costumes. It's a big festival.
And it's even for non-fans. This is to get their taste of it. This is way, if you have kids and you were a comic collector and now you got kids, bring them in, they get free comics, they can see what it's all about. And we want to run down some of the store appearances and stuff.
Right. I'm going to be here at Lima, Ohio at Alter Ego Comic Books.
Right, and they're going to have Jacob Newell. He's going to be in here doing some sketches. He's from Studio Kumikaze, and you might remember Jake. He was on the show for a while. He was touching base a couple summers ago. And Peanut might be tagging along too. He's got his stuff.
Yeah, we all know Peanut may not.
Hit and miss, but I'm pretty sure he said he's going to be in here. He probably will have some stuff too, so check that out. And I myself, I'll be heading down to Laughing Ogre. I'll be there between 10 and noon, so I'll be right there when the doors open, so I'll get a lot of stuff. That's a real kid-friendly scene.
Yeah.
They are going to have some face painters and some other stuff there doing their stuff. And then we move into some of the other stores, go down to Superfly Comics in Yellow Springs. They're going to have the...
great comic book store down there in Yellow Springs.
They're going to have the 501st. They're going to have some other artists. I think maybe some of the Twilight Star guys will be there from, the guys from the panel.
Yeah.
And then also stop in at Main Street Comics in Springfield, Ohio. Twilight Stars should be there too. I think that's what Bill was saying. They're actually going to have a grand reopening because I guess Scott moved into a new store down there, and this wasn't news to me, so it's kind of wild that something slipped by me. And then also Bell Books and Comics, we were down there once before. Stuart Sager is going to be there. I interviewed him a while back when he was set up for some event last year. And then also Nikki Forte probably will be there representing Studio Kumikaze. So check out all your local comic stores. This is just what's going around in our coverage area.
Yeah.
Everywhere else should be doing it.
Oh yeah,
we're talking.
Yeah, we're talking coast to coast, worldwide. If you get a chance to, and you're kind of on the wall about it, do a search. Google search for Free Comic Book Day, and you'll see just how much fun it is. It's really a celebration. It's fans and non-fans alike getting together and just celebrating the craft.
See, there's 2.7 million comics that's going to be given away this year.
Right. Oh, and by the way, too, this is the 10th annual.
Correct.
10 years this has been going on. 10 years of the industry putting out free comic books. That's how important it is to them and important it is to us, because if it's not for people like us, not just on the show, but fans coming out and showing the attention, it wouldn't have made it 10 years.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I remember we started covering it the second year.
Oh, yeah.
It was back in 2003 we did our first coverage, so it was
when it
pretty
just
cool.
started off with like a card table and a few books, and it kind of boiled down to just, the people who happened to be in the store that day, and it just snowballed from there. Now it's just, and another thing that's great about Free Comic Book Day is for people who don't get the chance to go to conventions. They don't have the time or the chance. It has that same feel and that same vibe to it. It's really become a convention in and of itself.
And speaking of conventions, we left out
right.
Pack Rat Comics.
Pack Rat Comics.
And this is becoming something really big. They do this thing, it's getting bigger every year.
Yeah.
This is basically a convention for free.
Yeah.
You can come down, and they got a bunch of people lined up this year. Nicholas Brendan's coming back.
Xander from Buffy.
Oh, that was great last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then this year they've also added Billy West.
Billy West, the guy that did Ren and Stimpy's voice, is gonna be there.
And Nick Jones from the Green Lantern movie. So this is 3 celebrities that's going to be down there, and then they got tons of artists. I'll read some of the ones. Josh Metters is going to be there.
Big fan of the show. We love Josh.
Sean Forney, Yuko Smith.
Dirk Manning's going to be there.
Joel and James from Two-Headed Monster is going to be there. See who else?
Max Inc.
Yeah, Max Inc. He's going to be down there. Eric Adams. That's Lockluster World. He's going to be there. See, I was looking for somebody else. Scott Simmons is going to be there.
Yeah.
And he's a real good artist, too. Just stop in, see this. They're going to have wrestling. They're going to have kids stuff. Bands are going to be playing.
Yeah.
Comedians are going to be there. That's when it turns into Nerd Night.
Yeah. If you got a chance to view the Heroes Initiative we did over the summer for Josh Metters. God, I apologize. You get a real good. It's going to be like that.
But they've been doing this for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
We've been doing full coverage of this for the last year. Tyler and me's been down there every year covering this event. Tyler, I need your help.
Yeah.
So this should be interesting. We're going to really be covering this. I'm going to be popping in there sometime afternoon and be there most of the night. So
it's going to be
So check that out.
Yep. And speaking of things to check out this summer, a couple big comic books titles that are coming up.
Right. Fear Itself is the main one. That's already out. That hit in April. And I was going to really tear this apart, but I just can't.
Yeah, I liked Fear Itself. I like where it's going. I like what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, because I've been really upset with Marvel for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Their summer stuff has just been crap.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It almost seems like they do the opposite of the summer movie blockbuster, where it's almost like, summer's here, people are going to be at the theater.
And they just flood it. It just seems like they're flooding stuff and crossing over, and just doesn't work. I mean, I don't know. That whole Alien crap last year was...
Yeah.
Or was that 2 years? That was last year.
Yeah. But I like the idea
let's get back to Fear Itself.
Fear Itself. I just like the concept. I mean, what does everybody in the DC the Marvel universe fear? And it's just it takes it goes into the core psychology of the characters, and what does Steve Rogers truly fear? What does Spider-Man truly fear? And
it's right here.
Yep.
Sorry, we had prop here, but yeah, I really love this. The writing is great on this.
The writing's great. The art is phenomenal.
I mean,
yeah, you can't go wrong with Matt Fraction.
and the thing is, they're tying the stuff together a little better. I think it's a little more knit.
Yeah, it's a little better congealed than some of the past, like we said, summer movie or summer comic book lacklusters. You know, it just seems to have a better flow to it.
And
so
they're
far.
looking for the hammers. And this is, you know, so this ought to be.
Which is another nice way of tying into their movie
Movies,
things.
yeah.
Yeah, the whole concept of all these, you know, you have Thor's hammer, but what if there were other hammers, you know? Just the idea of, you know, what that could entail. And
Uh-oh, we get sidetracked.
yeah, sorry, I thought for a second in the reflection, I thought I saw, I was like, oh, look, Thor, but no, it's Transformers, which doesn't need any publicity from us.
It's going to work.
Yeah.
But the thing about this affair itself was my whole thing was when they were on the Avengers was on top of that building, they were trying to analyze, see if someone was tinkering with the crowd or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned out there was no
They
tinkering.
weren't.
There was nothing. This was actually how people in the Marvel Universe is reacting.
And I think
mean,
that was a pretty accurate response. I like how they tied in, we won't go into the politics of it, but I like how they tied it into what's happening in the world right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's like the depression's happening sort of there too. People's having problems and they're just reacting. And I think the superheroes are just making it worse.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they're going with this. This whole stuff is making it worse for the people, and I hope they stick with that little people aspect because you don't really see the little people in the universes,
Right.
and you just have to go into it. So I would say check Fear itself out, even though I really wanted to bash this so bad.
Yeah, I think like what you mentioned, how they keep with the little people. I think they learned a lesson from their blockbuster last year with the Skrull and everything. One of the best books of the entire Skrull War Habagosh was like the Frontline books.
Yes, yes.
Which was us, you know, the people, you know, the reporters out on the street, taking it in from, you know, street level, not from the superhero capes flying overhead, but from the everyman. And I get the feeling
I think that's what they're going to try to stick with. I still haven't read that yet, but but Fear itself was great. I read the first issue, and hopefully they can keep the momentum going.
Another one that's coming up, and I know I'm going to set Richard up for this bash, was DC Comics Flashpoint. Have at it.
Well, the whole concept was in this month's previews, you got the order. There's 20 titles the first month out.
Yeah, and they're not tie-ins.
No, they're like something must happen. The Earth gets changed, and the whole DC universe is something else.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Back to the Future. Biff gets the
Well,
almanac.
DC's
Something
done this.
happened. They've done this before.
I mean, because the back in the day it was Tangent.
Yeah.
And I loved the Tangent series. I loved what they did with it, and then we really didn't hear nothing until just a few, was it last year, year before, when they had to keep the copyrights alive.
Right. They would just randomly throw in like the Green Lantern from the Tangent book into the JLA.
Just to keep it alive.
Just to keep it alive.
Because they have to do that because of all the copyright stuff. I totally understand, but let's go with it. I love those stories.
Yeah.
I mean, Cuba attacking America.
Yeah.
It was great. And the heroes were totally different, and Nightwing was a whole government. It
Yeah.
was just great. And I'm afraid that's what's going to happen this time.
Yeah, and it was like the amalgam books that we were teased with back in the day too. It's like that I can understand because it you can't put two fighting stray cats in the same room together and get them to cooperate for very long. But I liked the Tangent or like the amalgam books, but it was just like one shots. Like
You're right.
here's something awesome. You're never going to see it again.
Right.
And
And that's what I have a bad feeling about this. Even though there's some of them are going to
Yeah.
be 3-part series,
Yeah.
and you have a bunch of one-shots and all this stuff, and you're building this whole universe and trying to get it all out there in 1 to 3 months
Yeah.
time frame. I just don't think it's enough time, but yet at the same time, I think it's too much in that time frame.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of nervous about this because actually I didn't order the books except for the Backbone books. I just kept with the actual Flashpoint series itself, which
Same.
is really unusual for me.
Yeah, probably the same here. I was on the wall about it. You know, it looked interesting. Like Richard, I didn't want to get attached to something that was just going to poof and be gone. The only thing for me that is a perk is Booster Gold
No.
is going to play a pretty big role in it. From the understanding I get from the story is all this weird tangent to, sorry, just using the literal sense of the word, tangent universe happens. Nobody else knows that something's wrong except for Booster.
Yeah, yeah.
And with all the solid storytelling that's been going on in Booster Gold, and especially the Justice League Generations Lost, knowing that Nan Jurgens is forefronting Flashpoint.
Right.
I got to give it a little bit of a shot, just for booster's sake, and because
I think
it's
it's gonna.
injured.
I think it might work to a cent, but I think it's just too much at once. So I might have
Yeah.
to wait and maybe when the trades come out or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really a trade person, so this is kind of weird for me thinking this way.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think it's just too much in 1 month to buy, and I don't know how the
Right.
kids are going to keep up with it. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because that's what I did. I added.
I don't
up
know how
and
the
it's like-
adults are going to keep up. I don't think I'm going to be able to keep up with it. That's just a lot of titles.
Well, that's why I calculated out. You have 20 books
Right.
at $3 a book, and some's even a little more. They're not keeping it. You're not drawing the line on all of these.
Yeah.
Some of them are $3.99. So it's like you're talking right there too much in my mind.
Yeah. So take what your budget is right now. For me, I have a pull list like any other good comic book geek. Take that and add 20 on top of it.
20 titles. That
20
is, not just
titles.
$20.
Yeah, 20
between. I didn't add it up. I'm sorry, folks, but it was it's between $3 to $4 a book. It's just too much. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, DC. You should have thought of this a little more through. I know you just want to flood the market. That's old Marvel thinking.
Yeah.
So it's like that's what I always got mad at Marvel, because they would just flood the market.
Yeah. It's like if you want to know the entire story, you have to go here, 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 and
And I used to fall for it. That
I did
was
too.
a bad thing.
I did too.
I used to buy all of that.
I used to buy chromium cover special editions.
Yeah, I fell for that when they relaunched Spider-Man. But oh
Yeah.
well, we're talking
Live
the
and
ultimate.
learn.
We're talking the Ultimate line. That was just like last year.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, summertime we have the movies, and we
Yeah,
sort
we
of touched
touched
about
briefly
a little bit
about
that,
them,
but it's all the same.
Hey.
There's big movies out this year,
Yeah,
and just
let-
not comic related stuff.
Yeah, let's hit the list real quick. Thor, Green Lantern, Captain America, Cowboys and
yeah,
Aliens?
Cowboys and Aliens. This is.
I'm
Have
so
you seen the
s-
trailer yet? This is great.
Oh God, get online and look at the trailer. 2 words. Well, Indiana Jones and James Bond in the West with aliens. Sold.
And a laser gun.
And a
Or
laser gun.
or something.
Yeah. Oh gosh, what Scream 4, which
That
should
just
be
started this week.
Yeah.
As we tape this.
Four.
And then you got the other stuff lined up. The last Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something else. I heard it's like huge adventure this time around. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe not your dark stuff, but there's a bunch of other stuff. You got Hangover 2 for
Yeah.
your comedy guys. I love the first one.
Oh, same here. I love the first one.
And there's other stuff. Just go check it out. We're
There's going to be plenty of reasons for you to sit your butt down in an air-conditioned theater this summer.
if they show it.
If they show it. Yeah.
So just check that out online. We're not going into that because we're not going to get into the politics stuff of that.
Yeah, just the whole, we don't want you DirecTV people putting our movies out 60 days after it's at the theater.
Oh well,
We're not going to get that extra
we're
$50
digressing.
for a bag of popcorn out of that person right there.
Yeah, definitely. So I think we've rambled enough this month.
Yeah, like I said, it's nice being back at Alter Ego Comic Books and just being able to stand
At our counter.
at our counter. We are behind the counter. We actually have the counter for behind the counter.
I mean, last month we wanted to do quick shout outs.
Yeah.
I went to Space and Gem City. Space was great. You went to Gem City.
Loved. I had a great time as always at Gem City.
You did your first panel.
I did
That's
my first
already
panel.
out there.
Yep.
Go check that on our website. I'm going to have got the full page set up for Space. All the videos are there. I got one more to put up. Hopefully that'll be later after this episode shares. Then I'm going to work on the Gem City stuff. Mike and Peanut did a bunch of interviews with new creators. And
Yes.
these are different guys that's just starting out. I mean, a couple of them was just starting out,
Yeah.
first convention and everything. And they went to Gem City, which was a great start.
Yeah.
And then good news next year for Gem City. 2-day show.
Yeah, this is the thing I love about Gem City and I love about our local conventions is, yeah, everyone wants to be able to go to the big Wizard World, San Diego, Chicago. That's fine, it's great, you have a great time, but the thing I love about the local conventions is it's not just a bunch of people hawking their wares. It's almost like a family.
Oh yeah, but
You know?
Gem City's got some good deals.
Oh yeah, God, I blew way
I
too
found a
much in a
comic that
deal.
I wanted and I couldn't even buy.
Yeah,
So it was like, I needed to complete my set, but I couldn't buy it. But at least I know who has it, and I might find it later.
yeah. If Richard needs a comic book, it's hard to find. That's all I gotta say. And if he wasn't able to pick it up then and there, Yeah, that's how rare it is.
I just didn't have the money. I'll just say
Yeah,
that.
blew way more in the. Oh wait, my wife might be watching this. I didn't buy anything. didn't buy. I bought a lot.
And then, after these shows, like coming up in May, we got some conventions coming up.
Yep.
We're going to be at MarCon for the first time in several years. I'm going to have some more footage that I shot back in the day. I'm going to throw that up beforehand. But we're going to cover MarCon, which is a great everything show in Columbus. And then after that, we got some other conventions. We'll touch that later because that's in June, July, August. So we'll be busy.
Yeah, we'd have to do a whole separate 10-minute episode just of the stuff that we're planning on doing. But check out the website. You'll get a list of everything that we plan on attending, as along with links to the actual
conventions themselves. That page has totally been updated as of this week. So, sounds like it's getting busy here. I think it's time for us to get going.
All right. Hope everybody has a great summer. Hope to see you here or wherever you're at for Free Comic Book Day.
Just check your local comic store.
That's right. Thanks a lot.